Welcome back to the Soma Talks podcast, sponsored by Coda Kitchen and Lux 45 Lifestyle Boutique, and Senor Sangria. Ileana, we are very fortunate. We have an amazing guest with us right now. That is Assemblywoman Garnet Hall. Garnet, thank you so much for stopping in. Really appreciate your time. Very busy woman, and she said, you know, Lee, I'm very busy, but for you guys,
I'm gonna be here.
All right, I'll drop what I'm doing.
I gotta say, she's super friendly and super. I'm smiling here.
No,
very approachable lady.
She even likes us. I mean, you know, is that?
Hey, she likes us.
But Garnet, I mean, it's, you know, as an Assemblywoman, it's the 28th district. That's a new district, or it's reorganized district. It's Maplewood, South Orange, Irvington, Newark,
West and South Ward, and Hillside.
In Hillside. So you just got elected recently. So you really had. Now you're a Maplewood native. You've lived here for
35 years.
35 years, and you had an opportunity to run for this position on the assembly, but you had to get out there and say to these new other communities, like, "Hey, here's who I am, and here's why you should vote for." It doesn't sound like it was very easy.
It was a great story. Let me tell you, I didn't reach out to run for this position. I was actually asked to step up. Assemblywoman Myla J.C. decided to retire. I got a phone call one day. I have been supporting her for 20 years with constituent outreach, loving it, filling in for her. And she asked me the big question. She said, I'm getting ready to retire, and I'd like for you to step up. Now, she always tells me not to tell people this, but the first thing I said was, isn't there another job I can do? I'm a doer. And I thought about it for a moment, and I thought the timing was right. And I accepted the position. And I also retained her chief of staff, Mary Thoreau, which I wouldn't have stepped into the position without the support of Mary.
Smooth transition when you have the right people.
Do you regret taking this position?
Not at all. Don't you see me smiling? I love it.
Yes, we do.
I love it. It's a big challenge. I don't have all the answers. I know that, but I'm willing to work towards what's the best option for what's put in front of me. So I am honored to be in this position. I thank you for the opportunity to have me today to reach out to my constituents. Once again, that's Maplewood, South Orange, Irvington, the West and South Ward of Newark, and Hillside. My district is redistricted, and that's a big word to me because I have a suburban and an urban.
You do. You have quite a diverse communities. You know, I mean, you have wealthy communities, and you have obviously communities that are impoverished. So you really, how do you look at that? How do you focus on saying where do I start?
That's a lot of towns.
Where do I start digging? You know,
As a black woman, it's very easy. Mm-hmm. I know what's missing, and I start there. Mm-hmm. What would I do? What do I need? I have various friends that have requirements, and I'm here to show people that they need to listen to people like myself who can look at two diverse communities and understand their needs. That's the key here. The needs of a suburban, sometimes they want to tell the urban people what they need to do, but they never really understand. Urban people do not want to move out of their house. They do not want to move to Maplewood. They've been in their houses for 4 or 5 generations. They're happy where they are. They simply want the same goods and services that everyone else has. So I thought that was a way that I can impact the district, like District 28. So you've got the right person in the seat.
Excellent. Right. We knew that right away. I guess. So you ran for office. You had, I know the former mayor ran against you, McGahee.
Frank McGee.
Frank McGahee. You know, so it was a challenge. You know, it wasn't like this was handed to you. You really had to work for it. But your experience. Now I know you worked for the Essex County clerk. You know, you worked with Chris Durkin. Has that experience working? Did that help you not only win an election, but also you were able to hit the ground running? I guess a little bit of your background. I guess.
Let me tell you what really got me into this position. I was a salesperson for I'll just say 30 years. It's really longer than that. So I am trained to look at a problem, try to find a solution, improve productivity, finances. So that's really who I am. So for many years, I used bleeding edge technology to go in and solve problems. So I use technology. So that's really what put me in this seat, and that was the reason I supported Mila for so many years.
Sure, right. That's something. Yeah, Mila was. She was at 15 years. I know Mila was in that seat for many years.
Yes.
And like Mila, what I like about you is you're very approachable. You're not someone who's going to shy away from walking
No.
into a place and someone asks, "Hey," that's how I realized it was you. I ran into you and I said, "Are you Garnet Hall?" And you said yes. And I had my mother-in-law with me who had just moved to Maplewood.
Yes.
And she had just you immediately just.
And one night, it was at Coda's.
Yes,
Make
it
sure
was.
you
It
say
was at
that.
Coda. That's right. You're right. That's right. It was at Coda. Yes. And you immediately you made her feel comfortable, and you made her. I said she's not sure if this is right for her. She's from Rhode Island, and you said if you want volunteer work, I could help you find volunteer work. And I was just amazed by how warm you are, and I would imagine that that's that. Bottom line, your background was in Maplewood. I know you did a lot of volunteer work. You
Yes.
were the vice chair of the Maplewood Democratic Committee.
Yes.
You were kind of always a behind-the-scenes type of person.
Yes.
So I guess my question to you is, say, now that you're not that behind-the-scenes person anymore, you're the front and center.
My expectations are very high.
Yes. How
Believe
has your
me.
life changed?
My expectations are very high, and that's one thing that I did learn about me, that I have certain expectations, and the support people that are with me need to know that right away. Not shy.
Right. Yeah. Ileana, you're not shy either. So,
No,
perhaps.
I like her demeanor. I can understand why you won, because as soon as you came inside this door, it was just like the whole room changed. Your aura is so light, so welcoming. I can see why you won, and I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you. I needed that today.
No, because it's true. But sometimes you come across with candidates. They're very serious. They're not very welcoming. You don't dare to even ask a question, But you're like, I feel like you're my neighbor. Like I'm talking to my neighbor. And I appreciate that.
Instead of talking to a very influential politician here.
I know.
No, but we're in this
48.
together, guys.
I agree.
We're
I
here to
agree.
provide solutions.
I completely agree. I always have 72. I stick with 72,000
72,
questions.
yes.
I know that you recently have a bill.
I do.
I really want our listeners to know, for us to talk about a little bit about the bill you just have out right now.
Okay, I have several. But
Okay.
let's talk about one of the things. It is June, and I'm here for Pride Month.
The Pride Month,
Okay, let's talk
the Pride
about
Month
that.
resolution.
Yeah, it was a resolution.
Okay.
For Pride Month. I'm very proud to support that and to be the person that sponsored the resolution.
Okay.
Just a little background for myself, and I always tell everyone this: my husband's best friend was gay, so I grew up with a stigma. Like most people, even my girlfriends, who would look at me in a certain way and say, "Are you sure?" So I was never worried about that. But also, it even goes back to my parents. My house was full of people from every sector of life, and we were always taught, you don't judge people, you accept them the way they are. And that's what I really believe. So it was very easy for me to recognize Pride Month, to stand out. I have, of course, good friends like Dean Daffis and Shannon Cuttle, who keeps me in tune with what's going on and what needs to be. So kudos to them, to surround myself with people that can guide me, that can talk about feelings, and to talk about what we need to do, because we're all a part of the community.
Well,
I agree.
you've been in the community for 35 years, Maplewood, and so you've watched the gay and lesbian community grow. It's into what it is today, which is really a very welcoming and nurturing place for families, LGBT families, to be. How is that? Can you compare maybe a little bit to the earlier days to what you see today?
I was born and raised in Montclair. We're a very tight-knit group. I'm still friends with friends from kindergarten. We keep in touch, and we were always a welcoming community. I had black teachers when I was in school, and so that's the thing that really got me. I was thinking about it. Everybody's just talking about that now, but I look back, I said, well, wait a minute. I had black teachers back in the 60s and 70s. Yes. So that type of community prepared me for the move to Maplewood. On my street, I have gay couples. I have interracial couples. So I knew that this was where I needed to be.
Yeah, so even back then, when it was right, it was moving in an early stage, and to a community like something good is going on here.
Yes.
And,
I have a quick question. What is your bill about?
This is saying that Pride Month will be recognized in the month of June in the state of New Jersey.
Oh, God.
So
that's
it's a
good.
resolution. It's not so much of a bill.
It's a more resolution.
Yes, an
Hopefully it'll
acknowledgement. Just like I just attended a committee meeting where they were having Latino recognitions. I think it's very important.
The Latino thing is September, yeah.
Right.
So Pride Month it's a national recognition, but this
But in
resolution
the state of New Jersey, we will recognize June as
Oh, because
Pride
it's
Month.
still not recognized.
in
Right.
June,
Oh,
right? Yeah.
so you're going to make it officially recognized.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think it'll pass. I could see that.
Oh, yes, I'm very, very confident with that.
Yeah.
I
That's
appreciate you doing this because, believe it or not a lot of people know this about my life, but I was raised by two mothers.
Okay.
I was raised by two mothers, and not a lot of people. And when I was young, I never understood why I had two moms. I mean, I'm 45 now,
Okay.
so I'm an 80s kid.
Yes.
And all the kids would ask me, why you have two moms? Why you have... And I'm a Latina. Imagine I'm in Dominican
Yes.
Republic. That they're not really all about so openly like in United States. But you know what was good about me? I never questioned it. I always felt comfortable
Love
having
is
two
love,
moms.
right?
I never questioned my mom. Why do I have two moms? What is going on? I would fight for my what is wrong? I never questioned it, and I was surprised that I never did because some kids do question. I saw it like it was normal actually.
It is normal.
And in Latino community, that's not really they don't put it really out there. And now maybe, but back then no.
I agree.
So I appreciate you bringing this bill. Because even though I was born here, but I was raised in DR, I like that you're recognizing this. It's really important, and I'm sure Mom is going to be happy about that too.
Yeah.
You know? But unfortunately, one passed away. I still have one more, which we were talking now. She's 91.
God bless her.
Yeah, I know.
I have to tell everyone, my mom's 90th birthday is on
I know, we got
Friday.
90s,
so I
Mom.
am excited also, yes.
I really, what is their secret? Side note, what is their secret? I always tell my mom, you smoke, you drink, you do this, you do that. Like what?
If I knew the secret, I'd package it and sell it. I have no idea, but I'm trying.
Perhaps it's their daughters. You know,
Right,
You
yes.
know, yeah, my mother's 79. Just Mom, I'm thinking about you too. Since
God
we're
bless
talking
Mom at
moms,
79.
Right, yes.
I know.
I am looking on Garnet. I'm looking on basically the New Jersey legislature bills, and it shows, and perhaps maybe I'm incorrect, but it shows that you are involved in sponsoring 31 bills at the moment.
Yeah, that's the number.
Whoa!
Yeah, that's a lot of work. I mean,
Kudos to Mary Thoreau, my chief of staff, who keeps me abreast of the bills. And not only them, let me tell you what happens. People like you did today understand me and understand the bills that I would want to be a part of. So I haven't written all of these bills myself, but whenever an issue comes up, they come to me and said, would you sponsor this bill? Would you like to co-sponsor? Would you like to be prime? Prime means that you're the lead on the bill. Sometimes I'm just co-sponsor. Sometimes I just sign on. But kudos to my LBC, which is my Legislative Black Caucus, who is a group of assembly and senators and congressmen who also keep me abreast and supports me on certain issues or certain bills that need to be presented to the community.
And I can see, for instance, one bill is increases certain firearms permit fees, and another one is impose gross receipt tax on firearms and firearms ammunition. So
Let me tell you why.
Yes.
My son is a Newark police officer. I am very strong on getting these guns off the street and controlled. I, every day on a daily basis, talk to my son and sometimes talk him down from dealing in the streets of Newark and the gun problems. When he walks into a place, he got tattooed on his arm, don't let your fear be bigger than your faith. Because I learned as a police officer, you walk into a situation and you really don't know what can transpire because
seconds.
of the guns.
You know
down the
what? I
street.
like that legislation because I work in Elizabeth School District, and me and a teacher, we went walking to McDonald's. It was just like 2 or 3 blocks away. There was a lot of cops there. We were like, what's going on? It was a bag full of arms, of guns, sitting there outside of McDonald's. And we were like,
Right.
one of our students could have come up and picked that gun or something,
Yeah.
like literally. So I appreciate you doing that because I noticed when I saw that how easy a kid can get a hand of that. Like that, That really hit me hard as a teacher. So I appreciate you that now I understand. I really understand that, Bill.
Well, if you like that one, Ileana, you're going to love this one.
Oh,
Okay,
God.
this is A1709. Okay, that increases minimum salary of teaching staff members in school districts and educational service commissions. So the
Yes.
teacher right over here, as she said.
Yes.
So she's
Our
I'm
teachers are
thinking.
important.
Yeah.
Our teachers are important, and I'm very serious about that.
yeah.
Teachers made a difference in my life. And remember, I just mentioned to you, I had black teachers. We thought they were hard. We'd cry when we fight. But I understand now what they were doing. They were trying to prepare us for the future. They were trying to prepare us to speak up. They were trying to prepare us to do what I'm doing today. So kudos to the teachers. I wouldn't be where I was today if it wasn't for those teachers.
I could say out of both.
I got to say a couple of names. Miss Davis, Miss Williams.
Go ahead.
I'm saying they never leave your life. You know, they've passed on, or I don't want to say, yeah, I think they've both passed on. But the impact that they made on my life, and they challenged us to
Yeah,
be
some
who we
teachers.
are. So
I agree. Some teachers do make some impact. I think that if that bill passes, all the teachers are going to be
When
kissing
the bill
your feet.
passes.
When the
When
bill
the bill
passes.
passes, that's right.
When.
That's right.
I know.
It's, I mean, especially in the Soma district where, you know, we've had such upheaval right now with budget cuts and then some teachers have lost their jobs, you know, so I think...
They lost 28, 27 from the union.
and that's what I'm in budget right now for, asking for support for Maplewood.
Oh,
That's awesome.
that's
awesome.
really nice.
Yeah.
But let me just talk to you a little about 35 years in Maplewood, dealing with the same issues I did 35 years ago. None of this is new. It's
Oh,
just
really?
a cycle.
Even,
Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah.
we've been through challenges, and we still I want to give hope out to the community that we are working as hard as we can to make these changes and retain these teachers. I've gone through it on several times. Don't give up on us. We're pushing real hard.
Do you think this is happening in all school districts? Not besides Maplewood, South Orange, but Irvington, Newark, like... Or they're
I
going
think-
through similar situation?
I think they may have different issues. Maplewood is very well supported. I'm not so sure that the same support is given to every district, and that's what I'm trying to make a difference in.
Because I've heard a lot of people say that Newark gets a lot of money. Like, it's like, I heard that from teachers from Elizabeth, that that they always have money pouring, and that's why they get the better teachers. They got better salaries.
Well, they
and
have a
all
lot
that.
more kids, a lot more districts.
That's true,
That's the
too.
reason for the difference in the discrepancy in dollar value. It's not
the
so much
kids.
in quality or
A lot
in-
more jobs, basically.
yeah, and it's a
because-
lot more kids with a lot more challenges.
Challenges. That's true. They have to see it from that point of view.
Now, here's a bill that I'm very impressed with. A4013, upgrades assault on victims who are elderly or disabled. So I guess 90-year-old moms, this must have play into your thinking. But you know what? Crime, even in Maplewood, South there, we hear about the cars being stolen, and there's been robberies, and you know. it's-
Also, just the other thing that the caveat for me is my daughter. My daughter is a visiting nurse in Essex County and has been for the last 3 years. Once again, talk her off the ledge when she goes into a place and sees the disparity between the way the elderly are cared for, and then she goes into a suburban neighborhood and see
Completely different.
how the
It's different.
so many times. So I say that to say, if you think about it, I have a Newark police officer and I have a nurse. Every day, my hand is in on finding out where the needs are.
Yeah, no, you're doing so much work. And again, you know, as Garnet was telling me, years and years of volunteer work, years and years of working for the county clerk before you were in the private sector. So you really hit the ground running here.
And cultures. Let me just talk a little
Yeah,
about
yeah.
cultures, because maybe you can help me out with this. Because it's Essex County, we have all different cultures. Because my other job for the county is I marry people all day.
Oh, okay.
Chris Durkin and I marry about 7 to
Oh, I didn't realize. I knew
7
Chris did.
people
I didn't-
on a
yeah.
daily basis.
Oh, wow.
People still get married?
4 in the morning and usually 3 in the afternoon.
Oh my God. I didn't know people were still getting married. Like,
Yes, so it's all different cultures. It's
Okay.
all different. Some people who don't speak English. some people from different countries. I just married a gay couple on Friday. Met in April. I hope they listen to this. They met in April. I just married them, and they're from 2 different countries.
Yeah, amazing.
wow.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
the American dream in some sort of
I am
narrative.
constantly reminded
Yeah.
of that moment when 2 people look in each other's eyes and really don't know what to expect in the future, but the hope is just right there.
Let me ask you this: when you marry a couple, have you been in a situation you're like, I don't see this is going to last? Like, have it happened to you?
Yes.
And sometimes when people get married, you're like, yeah, I don't see this is going to
No,
last,
it's
but
been
let me marry them.
Let's just.
Everybody was at my wedding with my wife, by the way, 30
Let's
years
just say
ago.
it gets a little bit deeper than that.
Sometimes it happens. Some people can predict.
I did ask a woman, was she sure she wanted to do this? Because I was not comfortable with her response. Now, her family was loving. She happened to be black. He happened to be white. So the mom, everything was going right. But this woman just,
She wasn't
so I
feeling it.
whispered in her ear, because I wanted to make sure she wasn't forced to. Are you okay? And she turned and looked at me and she was crying. She said, this was the best wedding I ever been to in my life. She was on the spectrum. So
Amazing.
she was on the spectrum.
yeah.
I was
That's a good one.
misreading
You were
the
misreading.
response.
Yeah.
And I've had brides fall out in front of me. I'm running, call 911.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And her family didn't get out of the seats. Evidently, she faints from time to time.
Yeah.
I'm running to get water
right.
and get 911. And she stands up and laughs and says, I'm sorry, it happens sometimes.
Yeah.
It's never a dull moment, but the best job in the world. And I think that really helps me in the position that I'm in. When I walk out of that room every day by usually 2:30 or 3 o'clock, what could be wrong with the world?
I know.
Right. You'll find out as the Assemblywoman as soon as you step
That's
out and your phone rings and it's like, okay, now this job, my second full-time job.
That's a good one.
Now, we talked a little bit before we went on the air. I know traffic safety is very important to
Very
you.
important,
Four-way stop signs, which has become a Maplewood, especially with certain areas where there's been years and years and years of accidents. You talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so this is what I found out. I inquired a little bit into 4-way stop signs, and I learned that many people from other towns come through Maplewood to get to their destination.
I've heard about that, correct.
It's not Maplewood people, but it's people who have never been informed. And so one of the things I wanted to start doing is some PSAs on, do you know what happens when you go up to a 4-way stop sign? Do you know that one person who gets there first is the first person to go?
Correct.
We try to get traffic lights, but sometimes traffic lights are county roads. I mean, it can get very complicated.
Right.
But the mere fact that people do not know that when you go up, you're supposed to alternate whoever got there
I
first.
thought it was clockwise. Like if you go first. Yes, you go first, but then the next one would go. Or is it whoever goes
Whoever
first
comes to the stop sign first
goes
stops, and the other people stop, and then that person should be able
And
to
then
come.
who's the second person?
Whoever got to the second.
Second to stop. Okay.
Yeah. So it's but it's amazing, right? I mean, here we are, all experienced drivers, and people are still kind of questioning how.
Yeah, and
this
if
works.
I'm
No, I was
wrong, I
thinking-
know I'm going to get emails about that. But let me
no,
tell you,
I
my
was-
method works. If you get there, wait.
That's what I thought it was supposed to be. But I remember when I took the the test, it was supposed to be whoever's on
You
your
like a
right.
round robin?
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
No, my wife just waves everybody on. I'm like, well, go,
Yeah,
it's
I
your
do
turn,
that
it's your
too.
turn. No, she's like,
I do
no, that's
too.
just like, hey, he's got a better car than me.
Well,
You know?
why not, though?
I do that
Where are you
too.
going? We're all
Yeah.
going to get there at the same time.
He's a truck. He goes first. You
I know I do that too. Like even though it's my turn, I let them pass. I do that too.
Well, with my son being a police officer, I have the shield in the car. So many times they wave me on because they think I'm going
Right,
somewhere.
right. Yeah,
But I think we all have to be understandable and courteous at stop signs and make sure that the accidents don't occur.
No, 100%. Those are they working the four-way stops in Maplewood? I know there were traffic studies, for instance, on Jefferson and Maplewood Avenue. They got that four-way stop sign.
I don't think it's Maplewood. I think it's going all of the towns. The four-way.
But that
right?
was the issue there for years and years and years. Have there been any studies that show that it's working?
Oh yes, believe me, it took us I think maybe 2 years to get stop signs put in. Then it's a process.
It's a lot. There's
It's
a lot
process.
out there.
There's the engineering's come out to do a study. First of all, you have to start a petition, and that's what we did in our community. On Porter Road, Field Road, shout out, Schaefer Road,
Okay.
Lightning Brook Hill, Hilton area, shout out to all of them. But we come together, we find out by the rules what we need to do, and we implement it. We get together, we do a petition, we get the engineering department out, they report back to us.
It's a long
And
process.
it takes years.
It's a long
And I
process.
understand the traffic lights take sometimes 7 to 10 years to get a traffic light.
Really?
there.
That much?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know there was studies, for instance, these stop signs, I guess. I know for Victor Luca for years, every time I would hear him speak on the sidewalk when he was campaigning or just what about Maplewood Avenue so it was for years and years and years and years and years, and they finally
They do their due diligence
it was
before
finally
they make a move. And the humps in the street, everywhere you go
right.
now.
Right.
Now, I got to just confess that I was one who did not want a hump in front of my house.
Yes,
And
yes.
for many years, I didn't do anything about it. But my neighbors kept pressing and my husband kept pressing. And then I would say to them, well, you want one in front of your house? And they said yes.
Yeah.
So we finally got them on.
See,
Do you like
uh,
them now? You accept them?
Yes, but I have to be concerned.
Is it a speed hump or a bump? I mean, there's difference.
There's two different heights, so
Right,
that's a
yeah.
big difference.
Right.
But with emergency vehicles, I understood that it is a hazard with the ambulances. So,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's a few in South Orange, and I'm always joking every time Sheena column. I go over one of these humps,
You're
I
funny.
wasn't there before you were here, Sheena, but anyway. But look, they slow traffic down.
They
and,
do.
and
for the kids, too.
It's the kids, and this is more of a commuter town over the last few years. As people, so there's people out and about, especially walking to and from the train. So
Yes.
Your biggest challenge you found since you've been elected? Is there something you're like, whoa, I didn't see that one coming?
Time.
Oh, good question.
Time.
Time. There's never time enough.
Exactly.
Time. I did find out something. Why do I do what I do? Like, even my girlfriends have always said to me, I don't know, why you do that? Why you want to get involved in politics? And for years, I really couldn't answer that question until one day it hit me like a ton of bricks. Because I enjoy, I'm happy. I'm enjoying.
it.
It's like, when I do something for somebody else, it makes me feel good. And,
Right.
and that took all my life to figure out.
Yeah, no.
I could see it. As soon as you came in the door, you do it. You wear it as a badge of honor. Like,
Yes.
you are happy.
Yes.
I could see it. I'm not going to lie. I could see it. She's not lying, guys.
No, I was, before we went on the air again, I was telling you, and you remembered, when I ran for office like in 2011. I got slaughtered by Vic. And I kind of did it at first as just kind of like I'll show Vic because he and I weren't getting along, and but anyway, so I'll show I'm going to win, and I'll just, so I'm knocking on doors. I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't even know what I stand for, and I'm probably full of baloney, and, and I'm probably not taking it as seriously as I should. And one of the first people I met, I knocked on her door, and she invited me into her house, and she started to tear up, and she said she's about to lose the house, the mortgage. This is a Maplewood, the taxes are too high, but her kid, she has to keep the kid in the school. He was in 10th grade at the time, his friends, and I walked out of her house. I said, "This is not a joke anymore." When she said, "What can you do?
Right.
If I vote for you, will you help me?"
Will you help me?
And I didn't know how I could, but I knew that if I wasn't lying to her when I said I would do everything I could if I got elected. But I didn't get elected. So what's that experience like for you when somebody says, "This is my life right now and it's not good"? Help.
Resources, like the Township Committee, like Mayor Nancy Adams, the reason why I supported her in the
Yes.
primary, because people like that I can go to and say, I have a problem, can you help me solve it?
Yes.
And
Right.
like I go to my chief of staff, who's been doing this for over 20 years. How can I help? She knows people she can call. She knows people that she can refer them to. I don't have all the answers, but I do know how to connect people with organizations that are willing to help.
Right. Right.
So that's the reason why I learned from. I still say Vic is the mayor too.
Yes.
Once a mayor, always
That's
mayor.
right,
I
that's
learned
right,
from Mayor Vic. I learned from the people on the township committee. I learned from watching them, from dealing with problems, how to fix it. Sometimes we can't fix everything.
No.
But I know that I can put them in touch, and the people will know that I've done everything that I could to help them. But it's really all about resources.
It's all about
who do I
resources.
call?
Yeah.
I have a problem. How can you help me?
Yeah, right. Kind of connecting the dots, so to speak.
Yes.
Here's it. Right, you go here, and and you gave me your business card. It's got your phone number on it. It's got your email on it. I mean, and I saw you readily handing them out to people as I was chatting with you. It seems like your office is easy to get in touch with, and
I'm a part of the community.
Yes,
Yeah.
you are.
so you might be getting like a ton of emails tomorrow. Oh, by the way, now that I heard you on the
And we
Summer
do.
Talks podcast right now.
Quick question.
Yes.
How do you see Maplewood and South Orange Town? How do you see the communities going from your perspective?
Well, I just look at these towns are our local community, even Irvington. Like I say to them,
Yeah,
I
they're
live
right
on the
there.
borderline of Irvington and
Yeah.
Maplewood. And when I went to speak to them, I said, you're my local community. When I went to Hillside, I said, I get my car washed in Hillside.
Right. Yeah, you're 5 miles away from my house.
It is my local community because I learned a long time ago that Newark was our local community. Because you remember, we've divided up these towns and given them names or neighborhoods. But before all of that, Newark, Maplewood, and South Orange was just one area.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
we've divided them up. So I look at all of these towns that I'm representing, and it is the largest African American constituents. I'm the only one that has such a big area.
That's
More than Trenton?
From what I'm told, you can check that for me.
We
I
gotta-
wouldn't be surprised, but yeah, I thought they were right there, but I'm
Yeah.
not. I wouldn't be surprised if Newark and would
Look, I have
some.
enough problems just keeping up with North Jersey. I can't talk. You said Trenton. I was like, I go there a lot, but
So talking about Trent, when I one of the first times I met you, you had just returned from Trenton. You were down
Yes,
there for
yes.
the
committee meeting?
The committee meeting, and I guess you had just met the governor too.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So you talk a little bit about what.
yeah, let me talk
experience
about
was.
sure.
what are the committees that I'm on.
Yeah.
I'm on the Consumer Affairs Committee. I'm on the Environmental Committee, and I'm on the Labor Committee. Now, at first, not knowing what these committees actually do, they really tie in together very well. Consumer Affairs always touches on labor. Consumer Affairs always touches on environment. Environment touches on labor. So I'm real happy to stand up as a representative on these three different committees because I bring a different perspective
Yeah.
to the committee.
Out of all three committees, which one is the one that is giving you a little bit of headache? Like, wow, this one is.
Giving
This is
me
a tough
headache.
one.
Giving me headache. Look,
All three of them, or there's one in specific that you think
No.
is the toughest one?
I
Like,
worry about labor more because
Okay.
that's how people eat. That's how people pay their bills. That's how they're protected. That's how.
is that the one you're more passionate about?
No,
a
I'm
little
not
bit?
passionate about all three because my first bill that I ever put through was on the Consumer Affairs, and it was for cadmium in the lead that's in the jewelry that's being sold to our communities.
Okay.
That was my first bill. So
Yeah.
in the experience in the assembly, when you put your first bill up,
Right.
everybody votes no. So you see the whole board light up no. Because I say on the bill, yes, and the speaker says on the bill, and everybody votes, and everything says no, then they change over. So
And right, but it's a process.
yeah, but let me tell you, it doesn't end there because, okay, I passed a bill, I'm worried about that, but then how do you manage it? It takes funds, it takes watchdogs, so there's still a lot to do. I don't, like I said, I don't have all the answers, but at least I put it out there so people will have the knowledge. See, most people don't even have the knowledge. My girlfriend came up for me to get sworn in and support me, and she had on this jewelry, the earrings, the necklace, and I knew that possibly had lead in them, and she has MS. I said, take it off.
Yeah, right,
They think I'm
yeah.
crazy. I'm like, what are you doing? Take it off. Because my thing was when you go to the hospital and they say that you have cancer, no one ever asked, did you wear costume jewelry?
Yeah. Right.
No.
And so, all right, so go with me with this. Did you wear costume jewelry? They never ask you that. And then they do all of these tests trying to find out how you got the problem, but they never ask that problem, so they never search for lead in your system.
Amazing. Right.
So I think it affects healthcare.
Sure.
Of course.
And then it affects labor. So
right.
you were asking me, so now I'm back to environmental and consumer affairs. So
Right,
that was an example that I found that the committees that I'm on ties it all together just by asking one simple question. Did you ever wear costume jewelry?
Probably yes.
Yes. So that's my watchdog that I'm trying to.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
See?
So if I can't solve a problem, I could at least provide knowledge. So then you can make better decisions on whether you're going to purchase that item or not.
That's fair.
So how often are you down in Trenton? Are you down there often enough?
Well,
guess?
they were telling me 2 days a week.
Okay.
Mondays and depending on your committees. You choose your committees, and then that's another reason why I have the choices that I have, because you have to have 2 committees per day, so it's like a matchup. But I do find myself at certain times, I could be in Trenton 2, 3, sometimes even 4 days a week if I have committee or something else is going on, or the speaker calls a meeting, or organizations want to address us. So, it can,
Right. So,
yeah.
No, and I know, and I Bridge. So you met Governor Murphy when you were down there. I know
did.
that. Yeah.
But I supported him, so I met him many years ago.
Right. Okay. So you've known him. Yeah. So just your personal thoughts on the
Well,
on the
one
governor.
of the things I had, Ian Grodman was the chairman of the Democratic Party in Maplewood, and I was the vice chair. And when Governor Murphy decided that he wanted to run, let's see, was Governor Cody, I'm going to always call him Governor
Right,
Cody.
that's right.
Governor
Right.
Cody
Yeah.
brought us all together, and we got to meet him and said, what do you think?
This is Cody.
Cody
Yes,
got us
yeah,
together,
right.
but Murphy was there addressing us, saying, I think I want to run for governor. So
yeah.
that's when I met him, many years.
Yeah.
And I also met his wife, Tammy.
Yes.
And we moved forward in the process, and I campaigned for him, and just like I did with all the other elected officials. And then
Yeah.
Sheila Oliver, who was a mentor of mine, I never had the opportunity to work directly under her, but I had my eye on her, and I supported her run. Brought me into the fold with Governor Murphy. So I thought if Sheila Oliver thought that he was a good candidate, I thought he was a good candidate, so we got behind him. So
Yeah.
I've had great success with working with Governor Murphy.
Excellent. All right. So it's good to know the big guy.
But
Yeah.
but then we have Congressman Mikey Sherrill. I can't go away. That's
Right.
someone else that I support, because I think that no matter what you think about them, I think their intentions were good.
Sure.
Okay,
Sure.
and I use her as a mentor of doing what's right and standing up, and I love her advice that she gives me.
Excellent. Yeah. It's not an easy job because everybody's a critic, and and I doubt you do something someone doesn't like, you're going to hear about it. Very rarely they're going to applaud, and say, "Wow, that was an amazing thing you did." So you got to have thick skin, and I know the governor he has very thick skin in this state.
But he's done some good things.
But he's done
too.
some great things.
Yes.
He's done some very good things.
Yes.
Ileana, any more questions? I can't thank you enough for coming
I
down.
know.
And
I
spending
can't
some
thank you
time
for
with
the
us.
opportunity, because this is what I really want to do. I want to connect with my community. I want to tell, and I tell everyone that I talk to, you're the experts.
Right.
When I talk to my constituents, when I talk to my committee members, steer me in the right direction. Tell me, and then I'll make the best decision that I can in the position that I'm in. I wish I can control things, but I can't. But I can surely stand up and be the voice in Trenton for all my constituents and District 28. And let me just also mention, I have Senator Burgess as my running mate, and I have Assemblywoman Cleo Tucker, who's also been in the Assembly for 16 years. So I have a lot of people that I can, I call them my mentors, tell me how to do this job and do it better.
Right.
So I really want to do a shout out to Senator Burgess and a shout out to Assemblywoman Cleo Tucker, because we represent the 28th district.
Yes.
And it can be a challenge.
All right. I'm proud of the 28th. And in the Assembly, it's 2 years, right? So you'll be doing this again in
I'm running already.
You're running
You
already?
are?
Well, next year I will have
Yeah.
to run again for a and that's something that I wish could be a little bit
Why
longer
2 years?
process.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
2
Yeah.
years
So,
is
you're
very
on
short.
1 year and you're off. But when I was at Mayfest, I just wanted people to know I wasn't campaigning.
I
like
didn't see
people.
you at Mayfest. You were there.
I have my table. No, but what I'm saying is I'm a part of this community.
Right.
Yes.
I'm not here just for the show of the position. I'm not here for anything else other than I've lived in Maplewood for 35 years. I'm a constituent just like everyone else.
Right.
Yes.
I'm able to be in a position to have a voice for the people who someone will listen listen to me. They don't have to agree with me, but at least I could say it.
Exactly.
No. Look, everyone listening to this podcast, this is a really good person. Never mind the politician. Never mind, this is someone I've met socially, and it's just a very nice person. As a matter of fact, before you got here, we've been asking the questions, but before we hit the air, Garnet was asking us questions, and it was questions about the podcast, obviously, but it was also just about our lives and just about who we are as people. She's just very interested in people. That's what I found out about you. You listen to the stories we have to tell, and by the way, I told you stories months ago. You remembered them.
Yes.
You're very easy to
as Ileana
to
said,
have a conversation.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah.
No judgmental.
No.
Like I don't see that in you.
One of the good guys.
Yeah,
One
definitely.
of the good guys. Yes.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
You convinced me to vote for you.
Okay.
You convinced me.
Yes, absolutely. And everybody out there, please do as well. So Garnet Hall, I guess, Ileana, we'll wrap things up.
I know, yeah.
Thank you so much for coming down.
Thank you. It's been a really incredibly a pleasure to have you here.
And send in some of the topics, everybody, to let me know what are some of the things that you want to learn about. What are some of the things, and I'll work with this organization to get you the answers.
Good question. Yeah. Anybody wants to leave questions for us for next time?
But let me just tell you about the lavender graduation on Thursday at Columbia High School.
Yes.
So I'm going to be.
You're going to be there?
My mother's birthday, so
right,
I didn't
right.
even want to say that, but
Yeah.
that's where I would be if it wasn't my mother's 90th birthday. But I just want to say a shout out, and please support the Lavender Prom or the Lavender graduation, and continue to support LGBTQ.
Thank you.
I think that's a message that we can all agree on.
Very on.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to call it a night. So everybody, again, Garnet Hall, Lee Navlin, Ileana Castillo, thanks again, and we'll do it again next time.
See you soon.